GRDC is quite a mature organisation now, and we've been through many iterations of the panels. And what we're finding over time is that the panel members come not just with a singular set of skills for their particular occupation, but seem to cover a wide breadth of industry knowledge and skills. And so when we look at the geographic spread of the panel members and their area of influence and what they know about within the industry, we have these amazing overlapping circles, and we've got an incredible coverage right across the 4 states of the southern region. With the current panel, the spread of skills and expertise covers all areas of the grains industry, but predominantly we've got a very large number of growers on the panel. We have 4 dedicated grain growers across in the panel, but we also have panel members who have dual roles as consultants and grain growers in their own right. And we also have them located in each of the 4 states. We also have panel members who have skills in agronomy and in research and in the science background of the grains industry. So very specific skills related to biotechnology in particular, and in plant breeding, and in the agronomy of specific crops, particularly barley, which is of great importance to the southern region. I think one of the greatest challenges we've still got is how can we keep to the increased productivity gains that we've had in the past, keep them going forward. We've seen a flattening off of productivity in real terms for growers, and we've also seen reduced margins for growers with increasing prices and costs. So one of the things we've got to do is try and address that by how can we address that with new research that will deliver almost a step change level of increase in production and performance on farm.
The panels have become more questioning and sort of more driving, more leading where research is going and what research is being done. About half the panel has stayed on and is continuing on for the last 3 years, so there's good consistency there, and about half the panel's a new face. And it's pretty evenly split actually between growers, scientists, and then what I would call industry people. So there's, you know, in that there's a good blend. Interestingly, we go all the way from Ayr in North Queensland down through the Darling Downs and Toowoomba. There's a couple from around Toowoomba, so there's a good mix through Queensland. And then we have northern New South Wales, sort of lower end of the Liverpool Plains and out to the Central West. So again, there's a good coverage, and even where, you know, actually where a panel member actually lives is not as important as their network. And, you know, the panel members we've got on have got very extensive networks, and that's what you need, because we've got to bring in the questions, the issues from the whole region, not just where you live. I mean, this panel is charged with putting money into growers' pockets and setting up a culture and a system that will provide growers with the R, the D and the E in the region that we need going forward to answer their issues. Because it's not just about what you're doing now, it's about, you know, the next 20 years. Are we set up? Is it going to deliver? Because research is a pipeline. You know, it's about having some research now that mightn't deliver for 10 or 15 years, but it's also, you know, growers can't wait that long for a result. You've got to have something tomorrow for them as well. So it's having that pipeline, having it full of relevant research.
The panel members now have to approach any issue that is raised by them from farmers or industry from a multifaceted approach. So it's not just singularly allocated to genetics or singularly allocated to farm management or singularly to a new products idea. It's attacked from all 3 different angles, so we get a multifaceted approach to any issue. It's a very good mix of farmers, agronomists, agribusiness, researchers and marketers. So we have a handful of farmers starting in the Geraldton Port Zone and running right down to the southeast in the Esperance Port Zone. So there's a handful of those. There's a couple of agronomists and agribusiness type people. There's also people who are in marketing. We have one person who is very high up in the marketing in WA, and we also have in that group researchers. Now, the big challenges in farming at the moment are to maintain profitability, and GRDC really recognises that. The challenge for the panel is to identify those priorities and needs of those farmers to make sure that we can continue to drive profitability in the farming sector. And this panel's focus will be really to get out there and converse with farmers and understand where they are and have very good lines of communication. And there's a lot of projects that GRDC invest in that have national significance. For instance, investments in frost and drought. They're very important that the whole group as a national panel get together and discuss those and make sure we have those settings and priorities exactly right. Well, I think from a farmer's perspective it makes it better because you can invest and have a 1 to 3 year return, or a 5 to 8 year return, or a 15+ year return. It's the sorts of things you get out of genetics are right out, long way out, whereas the on-farm stuff can happen in a 1 to 3 year term. So it's about delivering to farmers issues exactly right now with some form of remedy, and then also looking at it from a much longer point of view.
Peter Roberts, Chairman of the Western Regional Panel, wrapping up our panel package. And GRDC's website carries biographies of all the regional panel members. So if you want more information, why don't you check it out there.